This is the Backroads Podcast. Let's do this. Welcome to the Backroads Podcast. Now, here's your host, Chris Hobbs.
Rodney Turner in the house. Lee Pitts in the house. I am Chris Hobbs. Here we are back with the Backroads Podcast. How are y'all doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Good morning, Vietnam. Oh, that's wrong. Wrong podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was the earlier.
Oh, yeah, one. That's one we do overseas.
Yeah, that's one we do for the Vietnamese people.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha. Lee, how's it going, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm out here. Like I said, it's still summertime, it feels like, but the leaves are changing. At least it feels pretty good out here in the woods.
Yeah, I did. Sorry. I did see a bunch of leaves falling today. The last 2 days, you were saying, Rodney, the leaves are really falling.
Yeah, they're falling. They're crumbly and falling.
Yeah, they're dry. They're very dry.
I don't know if it's just it's the fall foliage, whatever you call it, or they're just dead and they're falling off.
I think the trees are trying to just save themselves from no water.
No water.
I have seen some trees hooked up to IVs lately. They're dehydrated, and it's getting worse.
Yeah, the Coosa River looks like it needs an IV. They got her drawed down pretty tight.
I'm not surprised by that. Not surprised at all. Well, I do want to talk about some upcoming guests we're going to have. Lee, we still on with Kay now that the ABT season is over?
Yeah, she's on with us. She's supposed to get back with me and get a day we can all get together and talk about fishing and what all's going on in Alabama.
Okay. Now, the Kay we're talking about is Kay Donaldson. She's the director of Alabama Bass Trail. Really one of the best tournament trails in the South, wouldn't you say?
I will say for a fact, the best. You know, it's a professional deal. They run it. I mean, it is amazing with the staff and everybody they have there working. You got guys that are helping the drivers back the boats in. They're helping take the straps off and then weighing in. I mean, it's just a professional trail.
Yeah, they do a great job on Facebook. I didn't get to come like I thought I was going to the weigh-in, but
I don't think I showed up either. No,
you were there. Okay, and also we're going to have on Josh Bragg, who's a Bassmaster Open Series elite angler. Is that correct, Rodney?
You're correct.
All right, he's going to be on with us.
Actually, some kinfolk.
Yeah, that is a relative of yours, and he is a really good angler, and he's going to be on us. He's from our hometown, which is one reason we're going to have him on, because we like talking to the local guys that have done well, like Lee and Josh, but Lee, have you had a chance to get into the woods here in the last few days?
Well, that's what we're doing today. We kind of got out here, and the police might not like it if they pulled us over going home, but we brought about 4 rifles apiece out here, and we shot real good the first round or two. Then I guess those shoulders got to hurting, and then we were everywhere.
Now, I got a little tip on that.
All right,
it's just a Turner tip. I mean, it's not worth shit, but I mean, bleep. I mean, my bad, but. Take your life vest out of your boat with you when you go to shoot your gun.
Okay, yeah, because you're going to have a jacket on anyway.
Yeah, well, take your life vest, and it's got that pad in it, and then you can shoot a little better.
You're talking about the orange life vest?
Any life vest.
Yeah.
You got to take some cushion off your shoulder whenever you're going just shooting.
That's true.
I tell you what, it's and I still, some of my rifles I like to shoot, but I've had 2 shoulder surgeries on my right shoulder, and I've got 6 pins in there. So those cold days when I lean up on that A-Bolt 7 mag and I let it bar, ooh, you can feel it.
7 mags a lot.
Yeah,
but me jump too.
Yeah, I like I said, it's just my old shoulders can't take that. I've got a 243 that I had when I was 13, and I'm still killing deer with it right now.
That's been a deer killer for many, many years. You know, I have noticed that ammo sales and scope sales and stuff like that's really picked up here lately.
243s, T.L. Harmon out of South Carolina, friends of mine and Chris. That's all. This man kills monster bucks every year on in. 243, 90 grain bullet. That's all it shoots.
Yep. It'll do it.
Remington core lock.
You would not believe. There's a video. We got a video on it on YouTube. It's one of the shows we did with TV show we were doing.
Yep.
And it shows all the, big bucks he's killed in South Carolina. You'll not believe size of the bucks in South Carolina.
He killed one called Twin Towers this year. You need to look on his Facebook page. It's unbelievable. It's probably a 160 inch deer.
Wow.
And it's just right there around his house. I mean, it's a lot of agriculture around there too. But South Carolina has them.
It's right there near
That's
the Sandy
amazing.
Cooper. I know you know where that is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the roughest places I've ever been on.
Yeah, if the weather gets up, it's so shallow that it can be dangerous.
There, and when I was in New York, that was the two roughest. I came out of the St. Lawrence River going into Ontario, and there were ships trying to get in there in a little barge canal, and waves coming over the front. When I finally got turned around, I went right back up in that river.
I don't blame you.
One of the funnest trips we ever had, though, we went up there and we hunted during the day, and they took us bow fishing at night. Lee, that's a trip we all need to go do again.
That was fun.
That Santee has got some catfish in it that's unbelievable.
I've always heard that. They said they got giants there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some
and
big
the
ones in
water's
there.
clear and shallow around those cypress. You shoot them with a bow at night.
Wow.
And that's a show too.
Oh yeah, that's one of our shows too.
Yeah.
It's on
Hey,
YouTube.
I want to be in on that. I'm in.
Let's try to hook
I
that
shot
up.
a right-handed bow left-handed because I'm left-handed and he didn't have a left-handed bow. I
Yeah,
shot it
that-
upside down.
That was interesting.
What'd
And
you do the old recurve, put your finger on it?
I shot it upside down
Yeah.
where I could see through the.
And it took me a little while. I mean, that's not, you just don't get in a boat with a bow and just bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
It just don't happen. But Rodney finally, we both got some, but he finally shot one with an upside down bow.
Now, let me ask you this: once you shoot that fish, is it much of a fight to try to pull those things in?
Oh,
or-
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
it's
where the
on.
fun begins, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're doing everything they can not to get in that boat, but it is a blast. And it's beautiful out there at night. All the cypress trees out there, and then a lot of those trees have been cut down or just through decay being in the water had fallen down. So there's a ton of cypress stumps
Oh wow.
in that water, and those catfish will get up and kind of waller up in that stump. So at first it's kind of hard to spot them, but when the guy that was
You'll see their whiskers.
he was the one
Really?
who
Yeah.
he
That's
goes,
all
there
you
he
can
is,
see.
there he is, and we're going, where? I don't see him. And finally he showed us how to look for him, and finally we could see him. And after missing about 30 times, we finally started putting some in the boat.
Man.
Yeah, it's a fun trip. If anybody ever has time to go do that, bow fishing at night, Santee Cooper, I'd highly suggest it. Fun trip.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Good
It's a
people
blast.
in South Carolina too.
Well, we kind of got off topic there, but if y'all want more information on who to go see to go do that in South Carolina, just shoot us an email at thebackroadsinfo@gmail.com, and we'll be glad to shoot that info over there to you. You'll have a blast. Lee, I know you got the ABT 100 coming up. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on with that.
Yeah, it's this time of year we just roll from one to the other, and it's kind of tough. That I've got some business here with some clients that I've got to take care of this week, so I'm not going to get over there till late in the week. But everybody's probably going to be running the same kind of fall pattern deal. Just looking for some of your brush cover, stumps, things like that, some rocks, and even though it's a very, very deep lake, just getting some of these little pockets. I'm sure that's what's going to be happening.
It reminds me a lot of Lake Wedowee.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is.
But I mean, of course, when we ask these questions, I understand, not giving away too much. You don't want.
Oh, I don't have anything. So, yeah, I mean, you can ask me. I've not been over there in forever, and I'm just going blind. So you can ask me whatever.
Okay. Now, what we're talking about is Smith Lake up in Coleman County. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say it for Lee. Lee can't say it, but I can say it.
Go ahead.
Smith Lake sucks. Just straight up. Just tell you.
It's
for me.
It is a tough fishery, Lee. I know you might not be able to be that.
It's not what I prefer. It's not what I prefer. I'll just put that.
The few times I've been on it, I've caught, nothing to brag about for sure.
When I can throw my crankbait out there and I see it the whole time,
yeah, that's pretty clear.
60 or 70 yards out there, and I still see it. I don't really think I can. I could probably see the fish if it was going to bite it.
Well,
you can read the sides on it. You can read the name on a crankbait.
Now, I know you do have a good bit of experience on Smith. So based on past experience, not necessarily what you're going to do in a week and a half from now, but, kind of talk to us a little bit about the lake itself, kind of strategies to fish it, things of that nature.
All joking aside, Smith Lake it's a huge, huge impoundment, and it is a good fishery. I mean, it's one of those deals that is different from what most of us, where I run and fish mostly, it's totally different. But they do have good fish. They got a lot of big spots, good spotted bass lake, and there's some big largemouth there too. So it's out of my norm, but I have to adapt to it. And I know I'm stumbling and mumbling right now, but it's one of those things where I'm hoping that I can take some of my top water baits, crankbaits, and spinner baits, and get up tighter than normal and be productive. That's my plan.
I got you. What do you think weight wise it's going to take?
I think with the weather going to change like it is, it may take a little better weight than what a lot of people are thinking. I'm thinking, this is Smith Lake, but I don't know, 13 to 14 at something like that's going to get you a real good check. I think somebody will probably hit 16 pounds.
Well, I mean, like you've said many times, there's some good sticks in that in the ABT. So usually somebody figures it out. We just hope it's you.
I appreciate that, but like I said, all the ABT events, not the north south, the 100s, whatever, I'd put these guys up against anybody in the country.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, if you pay attention to the ABT, watch the weigh-ins or watch the results, you can really tell based on the weights that are caught, for these tournaments that these guys know what they're doing.
We did fish. I took some high school kids when I was coaching those from Alexandria High School up there to Smith Lake, and they did pretty good. But like I said, Smith Lake to me, it's harder for me to fish it. I just don't fish it enough. It is a great impoundment. It does have a lot of good fish in it. I was just kidding about it sucks, but the kids did good in it. But we figured out staying away a good ways away from the bank because the water is so clear. Staying away from them fish, the further you could skip in there to them without spooking them. Early in the morning, low daylight conditions, we caught more fish that time with that clear water. After that, we finessed. A lot of finesse with that real clear water.
And that is, I think that's the key to it. Just what you said, that finesse bite and that clear water. And that's not me. I tell people, I said, if you go by me and I've got a spinning rod in my hand, I'm in bad.
It's a bad day.
I'm in bad trouble.
But you know, for me, fishing the Coosa as long as I have, not near as long as you two have, that's all I know is that power fishing. You know, the jigs, the crankbaits, the you know, the spinning gear, stuff like, you know, that's just how I fish. You know, just power along the banks, find a drop, you know, something like that. That clearwater fishing, terrible.
Yeah, I'm out on that too. I mean, I have to do it at times, but I don't like it.
I think we catch ourselves too. If you're not in a tournament mindset, when I fish tournaments, I was worried about catching fish. But when me and Chris just go fishing, we just want to catch a big one. So you change your whole mindset up about what you throw. I'm throwing a frog all day. I'm gonna catch me a big fish. You know, you could care less about the numbers.
Yeah.
So you change your whole way you fish.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're fishing for money or you're fishing for just out there having a good time, it's two totally different things.
You got that right.
Well, Lee, let's talk about let's change subjects. We're gonna get off fishing for a minute since we are in hunting season here in Alabama, and we're gonna talk about the hunting dry conditions. Rodney, I know you have some thoughts on it. Lee, I'm gonna start with Rodney, kind of let you get a chance to get your thoughts together on hunting these dry conditions in Alabama. But Rodney, you know, kind of talk to us a little bit about what your thoughts are on hunting when it's this dry, when the green fields aren't coming up. You know, how can a hunter be successful in these kind of conditions?
Well, I kind of it's a little bit like fishing too. I mean, you're just trying to figure out where those deer are going to be. And with it so dry right now, if you can go find the head of these creeks to where there's still some running water or some clean water and find some acorns at this time of the year, that's where I want to be. Have both of those two things in my advantage, because my conditions, the way it is at the club is right now, they're not even coming to the corn piles at all. So they're on those acorns hard. And if you can be close to some good water for them too, as soon as they get up out of that bed, they're thirsty. They're having to walk a lot further to go get some water. And if you're on a good watering source, they're coming. They're coming sooner or later.
Well, you know, I know once they get done with the acorns, you know, they're going to try to find, you know, the normal things they usually eat this time of year. But what do you think? Does that increase your chances of shooting them over a corn pile once their normal food's gone and the things they've had in the past during a normal rainy year? Do you think that increases the chances over a corn pile?
Everybody has their own thoughts on corn. My theory on corn, I could care less about just shooting a doe over a corn pile. That ain't why I have corn and use corn. Corn gives me enough time to judge a buck and see the caliber of deer that I'm looking for. My biggest bucks, I never kill them over the corn. I kill them 60 yards downwind of the corn pile, or I'll see them cruising by on the outskirts of the corn pile, checking downwind to see if those does are coming in heat or not. But it does kind of limit the amount of area that I have to hunt, you know, in a small time that we have to hunt. You know, everybody don't get chances to go out hunt every day and tune in on a deer. They go throw their corn out on Thursday and they go hunt Saturday and Sunday. That's it. I mean,
well, I know it's got to make sense that once the acorns are gone, that they're going to spend more time on their feet foraging for food because they can't find it.
That's right.
What's normally there is not there. So it could be a benefit for, you know, some hunters that can find, like you said, the fresh water, you know, near something that they can still eat. But it might bring a few more that would not normally be out in daylight.
Yep.
Might bring them into the daylight because
They're hungry.
they just can't fill up on what they normally fill up on. Lee, what are your thoughts there in Cherokee County where you're at on hunting these dry conditions?
Well, it's just like y'all were talking about earlier. I mean, I think you nailed it. So much of this too that they've got to have some water. We're not getting a whole lot of the dew. With the weather being like it is, they've got to have that water. But there's so many white oaks right now that are starting to drop that just like you said, they'll run through a corn pile to get to a bunch of white oaks right now.
Right.
And they're raining. I think the dry conditions, I really think the trees are really turning loose these acorns early because
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right on that too, because it was it's been about 2 weeks where I was seeing a little bit now. Just like you said, hey, it's a open buffet.
Yeah, you'll break an ankle walking underneath one now.
Yeah.
Sound like a thunderstorm.
Yeah, it's just bad. And it really limits the amount of deer that you see too, because they can go stand under one tree, and a lot of times they'll find a white oak or a tree dropping in their bedding area close, and you'll never see them. They don't have to go nowhere.
Well, what do you think?
And plus too, the leaves. There's so many leaves on the tree right now. If they're 35 yards from you and it's a little thicket, man, they're eating like crazy.
That's right. Yep.
Well, do you think it? You know how deer will target certain acorn trees, based on the readiness of the acorn when it fell. Do you think that because these acorns fell a little earlier this year because of the dry conditions, that finding that one tree they're eating on is even more difficult?
I think it's more difficult, but it's more beneficial. If you go and do your scouting the right way and find that tree that they're eating under, a lot of these acorns I'm finding now they're bad acorns that's falling. So if you go find that good tree that's getting the water that it needs and they're good acorns, I really worry about this year after season, in between deer season and spring. These deer are really going to suffer this year because people's going to quit feeding their corn and all that.
Right.
They're going to be really struggling.
Right. Lee, has this changed up the way you hunt at all?
Yeah, not really for me. It's I've got some ridge property and some lower areas that I've been fortunate enough to get to hunt. So I think it's going to be the same type deal, just trying to find the transaction areas.
Right. I got you. Well, good luck to everybody out there trying to hunt these dry conditions. As of right now, I think in the next 2 weeks, we got 1 day with chance of rain.
I think it said 15%.
Yeah. So
a lot of people have wasted a lot of money on green fields this year. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Turkeys will be fat this year. A lot of seed they got to eat this year.
Yeah, you're right about that. Might be a good dove season next year. Be some fat doves. Well, Lee, what about crappie season this year? I know you're getting heavier into some guide trips. What's going on with the crappie?
Yeah, it's the cooler weather is what brings it on for us, and there's starting to be some fish move a little bit where a little more numbers are showing up, but we've got to have some cool weather and some rain to get that current moving. We get a little bit of that water temperature right now, still 64, 65. If it drop on down some, and there's plenty of bait out there right now too. So we just need it to get cooler and get a little rain to get that water moving.
Well, what's the drawdown been like on Weiss? I know they're already starting to draw it down up here in Gadsden on Neither Henry.
Yeah, we're only probably right now about a foot, so we're only a foot low right now. But and they've done a pretty good job with it, keeping it up. So we went, the last year, instead of our normal 6 foot drop, they're only dropping at 3 feet now. Right. So that's something that's a little bit different for us here. I don't know.
They ain't said why.
I don't know. I really don't know, but it's I'm no biologist or know what the water flow. When they screwed up on our hometown radio and went from inches to 100ths of a 3/100ths of a something, I don't even know what it is anymore. I go out and look at my dock and I see the stains. I know how deep it is. But
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, that's telltale sign.
yeah,
See, the radio station should have adopted that.
Well, I think, and they used to be like it's 363 8. Now it's 363 14/100ths of a. This is not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, they should say it's 3 inches below the pole.
Yeah, it's like I
stop
come
listening
out
in 8th grade on that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
tell me you got to tell me in feet and inches. I don't know that other stuff.
What is that, like a hydro engineer, aqua engineer or something?
Somebody trying to prove he needs a job.
Yeah, they've changed it up. A buddy of mine, matter of fact, I will give him a plug. WEIS Weiss Radio.
Right.
Jerry Baker is me and his son are good friends, and Jerry's a friend of mine too. But I'll call Daryl. I said, "You tell your daddy quit playing Kathy Mattea first thing in the morning on Mondays." And I don't know what the hell he's saying about them damn 4/100ths or whatever. Tell me an inch.
Yeah, he's not dealing with aqua engineers out there listening. We're just good old country folks. We want to know, is it a foot down? Is it half a foot down? What is it?
You're going to get somebody killed.
I told him about 4 or 5 years ago, I said, hey, that reading you gave me this morning cost me a $700 prop. So.
You will be getting the bill.
Yeah.
Get somebody killed on trying to figure it up on their calculator going down the road.
Yeah, I was like, man, how much did he say it was down? I think I run that cut. Well, he was 3 inches off. Bam.
Hey, going back, Lee, I had a question. See if you see the same thing. With them leaving this water up the way they've been doing, I've noticed the bass a lot of times are already spawned and gone and done before they really start these tournaments now. I think the bass are spawning just a lot earlier than what they used to, because now they have water in the areas that they need to spawn.
And it may be once that temperature gets right and it's not fluctuating up and down as much, it may be, because I know things are changing, especially with our lake there at Weiss. I know a lot of things are changing and timings. When I was fishing back in the 80s, you kind of knew, well, this month, you're gonna do this month, you're going to do this. But things have changed.
Yeah, and the sand pits that me and Chris has fished all of our life right here in Gaston, they seem to warm up a little bit faster. And all they was really wanting in there was more water. And now the water's there. So
right
now, before these, Thursday and Wednesday and Tuesday night tournaments, they've already spawned out. You go in there and you see the beds and they're gone. I mean, it was before we ever started the little evening tournaments. Yeah, so.
Yeah,
I think it's more beneficial for the fish.
Oh, sure.
Maybe not for us, but it's a good thing for the fish.
We'll adapt.
Yeah.
We'll adapt. We'll overcome. Hey, Lee, if somebody wanted to go crappie fishing, tell us a little bit about colors and tell us a little bit about head weights. What would be the most beneficial as of today on some of these crappie lakes?
What we're looking at right now, these fish are not really wanting to chase a lot. So you don't want those big curly tail baits and the big thumping baits. You want something like a Bobby Garland miniminder or a baby shad. I like a 1/24th or maybe a 16th right now. And these fish are really starting to get around these docks a little bit. So you can play with your colors a little bit, that blue ice, bluegrass, some of those things, even black and chartreuse is real good. But just playing with your colors and just staying with something that doesn't apply a whole lot of speed to it to move. You want that straight tail or just some kind of little vibrating bait.
They're like the mayfly.
Yes.
Yeah, the Bobby Garden
Mayfly and our new that live roamer.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah, that's a good looking bait.
That'd be a good one. Are y'all shooting docks right now, or are y'all trolling?
Yeah, no, we're shooting. We're it's a vertical drop deal, or we're shooting docks, and they're really starting to. They were coming to the docks pretty good. It got hot again. They backed off, but the next cold front they'll be right back in there.
That's cold front's coming, man.
It's coming.
I think it's supposed to get down to 32. When was it?
From 85 to 32, we'll freeze to death.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean,
when it's been summertime and you get that first day, man, it's 71. Oh Jesus, where's my jacket?
Yeah, we're getting old.
I put a sweatshirt on, man.
I need a sweatshirt and a pipe.
Are we getting that old? We're going with the pipe now.
Hell, I just always used to watch on them old afternoon school specials when I was having a tender moment. Somebody always had to go get his pipe.
There you go.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, Lee, we're going to let you get back after it out there. You get your gun sighted in, and everybody's going to get ready for rifle season to come in. Hopefully rifle season will be a little bit better than bow season. Been kind of slow on bow season. Is that about the same for you?
You talking to me, Willis?
Yeah, Carl.
Yeah.
It's been real slow for me because I've been on water. I got to go that one time. I'll tell you, I'm 100%. I mean, I got the tree. I saw deer.
There you go.
Good deal. You know?
Okay. All right. Put me in my place. I don't care.
With my bow hunting, I don't even my rifle hunting. I don't have to shoot anything or even as long as I can see deer, man, it's a great day for me.
There you go.
Lee, come on, Lee. I've driven by your house and seen big does and bucks hanging off your dock.
Well, I mean, if I see one that looks like she's poorly, I may help them out.
I think we changed in our older days, though. We're like, oh, that thing's going to run downhill, and I'm going to have to drag it. I'm going to have to gut it. I'm like, I'm out.
Yep. It's what everybody tells me. Said, it's all about
fact.
bullet placement. It's all about bullet placement. And I'm like, yep. You want to drop her where she's either going to hit her back, where she'll run towards that road over there and get her, or drop her right there on that four-wheeler path. Yeah.
Exactly.
Look, this joker over here had gotten in was it in that club in Wedowee, Alabama? Were you in the club or somebody invited you down?
I invited down, yeah.
Okay, somebody invites this joker to the club. Everybody's been after this one buck. Rodney takes his four-wheeler, parks it on a little little old logging road, walks, 50 yards into the woods, climbs a tree, sits there, pow! The buck runs and dies right by the four-wheeler.
Right by it.
Hey, but that is a job well done.
That's just luck.
And then
is that
he's
not
been gone an hour, Lee.
Yeah.
No, he put a little English on that thing
That's
to make it spin and go that way.
That's it.
He's not been gone an hour.
Player will hit it. Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm surprised they let you in that club after that.
I'm going to start putting the corn bags on the four-wheeler and let them eat out of the bag on the four-wheeler and shoot them right beside the four-wheeler.
That's a great idea. Just put a little feeder on the back of your four-wheeler.
See, we can invent something right there,
Oh, man.
the four-wheeler feeder.
The tumblers are turning.
Yeah. That's for lazy-ass hunters.
Well, it's for old hunters.
Put
I'm going to drag that son of a
put
bitch.
like an antenna with a licking stick on the back.
There you go. There you go.
Just put a few little trees on your four-wheeler. Put the feeder there, man. Pop his ass.
Yeah. I don't think you don't need camouflage because I know Lee has and I know Chris has. You come out of the woods, you've been in there all day, ain't seen nothing. You come out there and they're standing by your four-wheeler or your truck.
I have had that happen.
Many a time.
Or you
had a
wait.
6-pointer stick his head at Little River Management area. I was bow hunting and I came back and was looking and I had a Toyota truck and a 6-pointer had his head in my truck. I don't know what I had in it. If I had sugar babies or
Viennas.
I don't know what it was.
You had
That's
some
right.
barbecue Viennas in there.
Yeah, and I stood there with my bow, and I was like, man, if he moves left, I can shoot. But if not, I'm gonna shoot my truck.
Yeah, there's a possibility. You
Deer
know,
jerky or a 21-inch tire. What do I know?
Well, back then I couldn't have put a one of them old stop by side road tires on, so
I know.
I couldn't mess nothing up.
Yep, that's exactly right. I probably every hunter can tell you stories about, waiting all day and finally saying, screw it, I'm getting down, I'm hungry. And then there he stands once you get down.
Yeah.
Or you get your gun or your bow down and then they walk out.
That's it. It happens.
Well, okay, Lee, this time we're going to let you go for real.
All right, we're gonna make 2 or 3 more shots, and we'll go in the house.
I hear you. Well, drink one for me when you get back to the house.
I'll do it, guys.
All
See
right.
y'all later.
We'll
Talk
see
to
you,
you
buddy.
next week. Well, Rodney, what's your game plan? Are you going to try? How hard are you going to try to bow hunt up until gun season?
I'm done.
Done?
Yeah, I'm not gonna bow hunt no more. I'm gonna let my deer settle down, and I can't pattern them right now, so there's no reason to go in there and just spooking them.
Right.
Let them get back to where they think it's just nothing but a corn pile and some acorns. So I'm gonna leave it alone. Then I'm gonna back my stand way off, get way away from where I'm hunting now instead of in tight. And
Yeah, that's something we probably need to talk about. Is something we've talked about for a long time, and that's stand placement for gun season versus bow season. Because you and I both noticed through the many different clubs we've been in together that there's not a lot of movement or multiple stands put up over some green fields. People will hunt the same ladder stand for bow or for rifle season.
yeah, I don't never do that. Especially during gun season, I'm trying to get in and get out with minimum disturbance. If I can get 100 yards away from where the trail is and still see it, or through the woods, or on a field, I want to get out of that shooting house and walk out, and them deer never know I was ever there. So,
Yeah, because we've been in a lot of clubs that we'll ride around during the summer, kind of checking it out and looking around where the fields are and how they're set up, and 90% of the time the shooting house is right on the green field.
yeah, if you can't make a 100-yard shot, you don't need to be hunting on a green field anyway. So I like getting off of there, leave them deer alone. We don't shoot does on our green fields, so those deer feel safe when they come out there. And then you start getting does actually bedding down in your green fields, and then your bucks start coming out there, and then before you know it, you got good-sized bucks walking right out there in broad daylight checking does. So you turn that into a sanctuary instead of them worried about getting shot on a green field, and your average, it takes a while, but you can change all those deer's mind in the woods.
Yeah, because if you're sitting in a shooting house that's been there for years, that main doe's going to come out and bust your ass
Every time.
Because they've been conditioned enough to know that there's danger, could be danger, in whatever they think that is, but there could be danger in that shooting house, and they're going to look every time.
I've seen them blow at a ladder stand and we dowie with nobody in it. And nobody's in the stand. I'm at a total different field, way away from it, and they'll be looking at that stand blowing at it. Just from, I don't know, from old scent that's in there, or just that old doe. She comes out there and blows just about every day.
Yeah.
She'll feed, but she'll be out there blowing.
So our advice to any new hunter or somebody young that's just getting into it, that's listening to us, when your season swaps from bow to gun, and look, some people shoot bows the whole year. They just would rather do that than shoot a rifle. But if you do go to the rifle, back your stands out of there. Get them as far away from there as you can, but still be able to have a good humane shot if one does come out you want to shoot.
Give them as much cushion as possible. Yep.
Yeah, you can sneak in and out. They never know you're there. If they're in the field when you go, you can get in your stand and they don't know you're there.
Bust that one big buck, one time. He's changing. So then there you are having to scramble to find him again.
Right.
It's not worth it.
So that's the Backroads hunting tip of the day.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we appreciate you taking the time out to listen to us, and we will be back again next week with another episode, and we'll talk about something else, hunting or fishing.
Yeah, and if you have any ideas or comments or anything, just put it on the Backroads podcast page and let us know.
Yeah, you can
we'll enjoy to talk to it or talk to you.
You can
Call us and tell us, hey, we'll set it up where we can talk to you on the podcast.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
we love to have.
If you talk to one of our listeners.
Yeah, if you've got something you want to talk about that you think everybody needs to know, just shoot us an email. It's thebackroadsinfo@gmail.com, or hit us up on Facebook, the Backroads Hunting and Fishing Podcast. But again, guys, thanks for taking the time out of your day to listen to us. And God bless you. God bless America.